We welcome you back to the Eagles pregame show brought to you by SeatGeek. Ben Goldstein, Matt Brown. It's Monday Night Football. Eagles looking for a desperate bounce-back win over the Los Angeles Chargers tonight at SoFi Stadium. Matty B, how are we tonight?
Doing better. Doing a lot better. You know, the unfortunate weather of this past week around the greater Philadelphia area has not been great, but that's okay because I'm doing good. Eagles football is back tonight. You mentioned while we were talking pregame, you're not a fan of Monday Night Football. I personally love Monday Night Football. I think it's great.
I think I'm not a fan of any sort of nighttime football when I have to wake up
Okay,
very early the next
that's
morning,
very true.
personally. And with how this, I think I'm just like a Debbie Downer right now because the Eagles aren't playing well. So that's just where my standpoint is. Like, it could be a 1:00 game, and I hate 1:00 games. Like, I might just be like anti-football right now, but hopefully the Eagles can change that. I mean, I typically don't like Monday night because the next day is Tuesday,
That's very
and
true.
Tuesday is the worst day of the week.
Yeah. Okay.
Everybody knows that. I also don't like Sunday night because you're watching football. And I don't like Thursday night because of the short rest. So I just think I don't like when the Eagles play on prime time.
I get it. I totally understand that. I'm actually a really big fan of Monday Night Football. I think it's the best out of anybody, especially when like Monday Night Football is good and like that starts with like announcers and like coverage. And I think ESPN does a very good job with their football. They got, I think, the best announcers in the game, and Joe Buck, Troy Aikman, and they make it feel like special. Like Monday Night Football needs to be special to me, and they finally feel special. So I don't know. I'm personally a fan of it.
Yeah, I can't stand Joe Buck and Troy Aikman, but
Oh,
anyway.
really? I'm the exact opposite.
I just as a Philadelphia sports fan, I can't like Joe Buck.
Yeah, I can understand that he's not done Philadelphia great, but I've grown to respect and like him a little bit more. I think Tim and Troy Aikman work the best together at any duo. That's why I personally like them, because I think they work really well. But I don't know, they got that special feeling when Monday Night Football special. It feels good for me.
I guess Buck, he's got that, that distinct voice that everyone it's like a familiar big game voice. Anyway, these are 8-4 teams tonight facing off. And, the Eagles might be one of the worst 8-4 teams. Chargers not looking too hot as well. Kind of weird things going on with both these teams. But I want to specifically stick with the Eagles in this discussion. I mean, the last two weeks, not just the last like 5 weeks, have been awful. They haven't scored more than 20 points in a win since October. They scored 21 points against Dallas, and that all came the first half. They were awful last week in all aspects of the football game. It feels like 2023 again. It feels like 2018 again. Like teams coming off a Super Bowl appearance and just crashing and burning and dying. Like, you would think that when you have an organization that's done it now twice in the last 7-8 years, you would think they'd be able to know how to handle it. Are you getting that vibe as well, or should we all relax and sing Kumbaya and everything is okay? Because for me, nothing's okay right now. I don't like football right now. Like, how am I supposed to be okay?
No, I'm not sitting around thinking everything's all right, because I know everything's not all right. I do know it's a long season. I know for a fact that they've been in stretches like this before where they lose a lot of games, and they end up rallying and win a lot of games. I remember the season after the Super Bowl. I think that'd be technically the 2018 season. Yeah, 18 season. They were losers a lot of those games, and you can pay sparks to that. It was Carson Wentz playing bad, and then Nick Foles comes in and saved their season. Things turn around. Another one, 2021, they were not great in 2021, and they ended up turning the season around, ended up making the playoffs at 9-7, squeaked in, didn't win again when they went down to Tampa Bay, but they've turned seasons around, especially even under this coaching staff as well. I would even take last season. I know it was a 2-2 start, early on in the season, but they rolled off almost a dozen wins in a row last season. Like, they were able to get by, but this team does feel a little different than the other ones. And it feels the most similar to 2023. You're not wrong. What's killing me is just the inconsistency with this team, because we'll go 3 straight games with a team that looks great on defense, not allowing any yards, and then we'll get to a fourth quarter against Dallas and the defense will just fall apart. Or we'll get to a game against the Bears where defense can't get anybody. Offense overall, I think it's just been inconsistent all year. I don't think they've mastered a single skill this year. I think they have done some things well, but not other things well. The passing game has been so up and down. Like, I don't even want to say that the passing game was good last week against Chicago, even though A.J. Brown went off last week, because I really didn't think it was great. Inconsistency has just been the big thing for me with this team. I just think that they're inconsistent on all forms of the field. I just don't think that they can play a full game to their strengths that they know they can. I can name off a number of wins last year where it just felt like, they were the better team in the game, or even just like when they were playing similar opponents to their standards, and they just were great at everything. We're great at rush, great at run, great on defense, great on special teams. And honestly, this year just does not feel like that year for this team. They're losing games in ways I've never seen them lose before. We'll get into. I want to talk a little bit more about that Bears game last week, and we will later. But that game last week just opened my eyes to just how so many things are just not working well with this team. And I don't know if tonight's going to change anything. I really hope that tonight's a step in the right direction, because it's December. Like, there's only 5 weeks left. There's only 5 games left after tonight's game, or 4 games left after tonight's game. There's only 5 games left. They cannot afford to really be doing this lollygagging anymore. They need to get rolling. This is the time when they got to start getting hot. The postseason is around the corner. If they even make the postseason, we're in that territory where, holy crap, well, they're not guaranteed nothing right now. And they still have a lot to fight for. They still have the division to fight for. They still have the 1 seed to fight for. They're very much still in that 1 seed race. So the fact that they're just either not feel like they're going in for it just doesn't help. But they have a lot to do in these next 5 weeks. It's a tall order, and I think it just starts tonight in LA. And it's a tough game that they have to do it in.
It sure is. Let's talk about this Chargers team. We'll dive more into the Eagles and what happened last week and how they can turn that around a little bit later in the show. So make sure you stick around. But this Chargers team, they are banged up. And it starts with Justin Herbert, who he's got a broken left hand, which is just wild. And he's going to play. He suffered it last week, and he's going out there and playing today. Justin Herbert, you're not going to see like the great Herbert tonight, I guess, because his hand is literally broken. But like Herbert is out there playing tonight, and that's pretty wild to think about. Like, a broken hand. I guess it's not a throwing hand, so I guess it's fine. But he's going to be out there, and the Eagles, they're going to have to stop him. And Justin Herbert, we know who he is. He's a great quarterback.
No, 100%. When he got hurt last week, and they said it was a fracture after the game, and he was going to need surgery, I thought there was no chance he was playing tonight. I thought they said it was a short injury and a short timeline for the surgery, but I did not think that he would have a single chance to play in this game. I was really shocked. I did not think that he would be able to come back this quick. Having surgery on something and playing a football game in the same week is honestly insane to me. Like, I don't know how he is able to do this. I understand it's not his throwing hand, but still, you obviously need both hands to play quarterback in the NFL. You need both hands to play football overall. Like taking snaps under center, gripping the ball, like keeping it in your hand. Like, you have so much to do with both your hands that I can't believe he is even able to play tonight. So, look at you to go.
Using one hand.
With one hand in motion tonight.
Yeah.
Thought there was 0% chance. And the fact that he is playing, I'm really wondering how much they're going to use him tonight. I honestly think that I don't want to say like they were just using him to like throw the Eagles off, but I really hope the Eagles prepared for a little Trey Lance tonight, because I think Trey Lance is going to play tonight in some sense of the four. Like, I don't think that Justin Herbert is just going to be out there for the 40 to 50 offensive snaps tonight. Every single one is going to go his way if he doesn't get hurt again, obviously. I think that they're going to use Trey Lance a lot tonight, whether in like gadget plays or they have Herbert outside or rushing attack. I think they're going to do some wildcat tonight, maybe with Amari Hampton and Kamani Vidal. They're going to change some things up tonight. It's going to be a weird looking Chargers offense tonight. And it's on the Eagles tonight to not only adjust well, which is something they haven't done well all season, on both sides of the ball, really adjusting well, but to just not let the Chargers get into something comfortable throughout the night. If something is working for the Chargers, the Eagles need to be on it, and they need to be able to adapt in that situation. And I think that starts with Herbert. If Herbert's settling in, we have a problem, because that should not be happening tonight. And again, I'm not saying like injure him or anything like that. We're not rooting for that. We're not saying for that to happen. But if Herbert is not able to hand the ball off and they are like pass heavy tonight, we need to put more guys in coverage. We need to put more linebackers out there that can cover well and lock down his receivers and not let him do that, because you need to take him out of this game. If they're going to use him as much as they say and not use Lance and not use any of this gadget, and he's just going to be back there throwing like everything is normal, you can't let that happen, because he is not 100%, and this should not be a normal Chargers offense. So it'll be really interesting to see how much he is used tonight. And overall, I honestly don't think it's going to be all him tonight. I think it's going to be a team effort. And like I said, it's going to be a weird offensive night, I think, for the Chargers.
Something else that's a little, I guess it's not weird. It's good for the Chargers, not good for Philadelphia, is Omarion Hampton. You mentioned him. He is returning tonight. He fractured his ankle back on October 5th, which was a while ago. He did it in Washington. And he is returning tonight in his rookie year, 66 carries, 314 yards through 5 games, 2 touchdowns, average about 5 yards per carry. He was good in his first couple of games, and now Eagles get to see him back, but he's got a really banged up offensive line in front of him. The big guy, Joe Alt, is out for the year. A couple other guys as well that are banged up front for the Chargers. However, with how the Eagles' run defense looked against Chicago, and you don't have Jalen Carter tonight, that poses some issues. Jalen Carter, let's just jump into that. Like, we can tie Hampton into this. Jalen Carter is out this week, and it's safe to assume next week as well against the Raiders. He underwent a procedure last Monday, on both of his shoulders. It's been something that is bothering him all season. And Carter, he's now undergoing treatment. This is on Monday. He underwent some treatment on both shoulders, and he could miss another game. So this is a big issue, and the Eagles, they're going to face a lot of rushing tonight because, Justin Herbert has a broken hand. And last week, with Jalen Carter out there, they gave up 281 yards on the ground. That's the most they've given up all year to Chicago. They gave up 177 yards after contact on designed runs. The Eagles give up more yards after contact than they have given up in rushing yards all season long. That is crazy. The Eagles had given up just 92 rushing yards per game over the previous 5. Bears surpassed 100 on their first run in the second quarter. Matt, will this Eagles run defense be able to hold up against Omarion Hampton and what we're assuming is going to be a kind of a run-heavy offense today for the Chargers without Jalen Carter? Because when you look at the past, they haven't.
They daggone better, because, oh my goodness, this offensive line for the Chargers, I don't care if Jalen Carter's not playing. This offensive line for the Chargers is not great. I know they got a former friend, Mekhi Becton, on that offensive line, but they are just – this has been a very down year for that Chargers offensive line. Not a lot of that is not their fault. They don't have Joe Alt, their star left tackle. They don't have Rashawn Slater, their star right tackle. Those are 2 very tough injuries for them to overcome. Look at the Eagles without Lane Johnson. Eagles haven't won a game without Lane Johnson yet this season. And their record without Lane Johnson is one of the worst in the NFL. In my opinion, though, I think the Eagles are good enough, at least this week, to play around with Carter's injury and play better. I think they still have the depth. I'm really interested to see some other defensive tackle step up. Ty Robinson is in uniform tonight. I'm really hoping that he gets some good looks tonight. And I'm hoping they start playing the guy, because a 3rd-round rookie, I know we're trying to develop him a little bit still more, but this is the opportunity for him to really, put himself into the lineup. Byron Young's another one too. He's going to see some more playing time tonight. Losing Carter, though, is a very tough deal, not only because you lose the great player, but you lose what teams have to double team. There's a reason Jalen Carter's numbers aren't off the paper, greatest in the league. And that's nothing against him, because I think he is still great even without the great numbers. Because you look at his double team and triple team percentages, it's one of the highest in the NFL. And it's for a good reason. He is a game wrecker when you let him game wreck. If you put him in one-on-one situations against players that are not up to his caliber, he will dominate them. So you take him out of that situation, what happens then? Do teams now go one-on-one with your defensive lineman? Do they start double teaming other guys? I would assume Jordan Davis is that guy, and it's probably going to happen a little bit tonight, which is okay. Jordan Davis is still a game wrecker as well. But that's a huge thing that takes away, because you go from the tear down of Jalen Carter double team to Jordan Davis single team to Jordan Davis double team, and now you have Byron Young, Ty Robinson, like that's where the difference is right there with them. It's a huge drop off, and there's nothing to say against Byron Young and Ty Robinson. Those guys can, have 2 sacks tonight if they really play well. But it's going to be a struggle. It's going to be a struggle this week. Hopefully, it doesn't look as bad. I truly think that I hope that the defense has a little chip on their shoulder with this injury, and say, man, we really got to step up in Jalen's absence, because you obviously need him for the playoffs. And if this is what they feel like is the best case scenario for him over this next month of the season, I think this is the best thing they can do. If they can survive tonight without him, I think they'll be okay next week. They're playing the Raiders next week. We're no offense to the Las Vegas Raiders, but my goodness, that would be a astronomical loss. Or if the Eagles don't end up winning next week. But that's a game, honestly, I'm okay with him missing, because again, it's a game I think the Eagles can handle. But it's going to be a struggle tonight. The Chargers are no joke team. They are right in the mix of it for an AFC playoff team. And they have a number of solid backs that they can get the ball in their hands and they can make magic. They have a number of wide receivers that, honestly, I think with the ball in their hand can make the defensive line tonight not fun. And I'm telling you, I truly think that tonight's going to be a weird night for this Chargers offense. I think they're going to try things that they really haven't done all year. And I think they have to do that because of the way Herbert hasn't been able to practice. Herbert hasn't been able to really run the offense until yesterday and today. Excuse me. But it's going to be weird. And I'm really interested to see who steps up in Carter's place tonight, because someone's going to have to, and someone's going to have to be that guy on the front line, or else it's going to be a long night for the Eagles defensive rush.
That's for sure. It was last week. It was a long day for that guys up front. Bears were able to get to the second level, and Eagles were just missing a bunch of tackles. What happened last week? Because we have not seen the Eagles run defense break down like that. And I don't even think the Vic Fangio era. Like, it was tough to watch. And now you don't have Jalen Carter. Like, they have to step up tonight. But, like, are they really going to? Last week gave me nothing but concern for this defense, which is not something I felt in a while.
No, you're 100% right. Last week felt like one of the most shocking Eagles losses I've ever seen. And it's not even in terms of like shock, like, wow, how did we just lose that game? No, it was a shock of like, wow, they're just doing this to us. Like they're just running the ball every time. Like that's all they're doing. Like the way they lost is just astronomical to me. It's not like an inferior like Cardinals team in 2023 who just like comes back and like steals a victory in Philadelphia. It was at home, Black Friday, day after Thanksgiving, Black Friday, black uniforms, hostile crowd, must-win game pretty much, I would say, last week, and then you end up losing. But just a game that you, in all sense of the world, you win that game. And no disrespect to the Bears, they're having a really good season. They're one of the top teams in the NFC this year. But the way they just won that game, and the Eagles let them do it. The Eagles just let Kyle Monungai and DeAndre Swift just run all over them last week. They just let Caleb Williams dictate exactly what was going to happen. I have never seen that from this core of Eagles. I have never seen a loss just like dominated from another team like that badly. Like I've seen teams that are astronomically better put up and dominate against Eagles teams that probably aren't that good. But the way the Eagles are right now, especially the defense, especially the way their defense was playing the last couple of weeks, I know the second half of the Dallas game wasn't great, but you can fault the entire team as a whole for that loss more than just the defense overall. I have just never seen anything like that in my life from that Eagles team. It was one of the most shocking losses I've seen as a fan in my 23 and a half years on this earth. As a fan of this team, like from what I can remember, I had just not seen an Eagles loss like that, where they just get dominated every sense of the way by a team that probably isn't better than them, but they just had a better game plan than them. And I really hope that it wakes a fire them up inside. I hope that the vibes in there are just pissed off. I've been saying it for the last couple of weeks. I'm waiting for this Eagles team to come out and give us a performance. It's like, wow, this team is pissed off. They're tired of losing. They're tired of the media, giving them crap. And I'm not even saying it's got to be like a dominant, like 40 to like 15 victory tonight. You know what I'm saying? Like it just has to be a game where you walk away from it and you go, wow, they really just hit every level, checked every box. Obviously defense is going to make some mistakes. You might give up a touchdown. It happens to the NFL. Offense is going to have a bad drive. I get it. But they have not been able to walk away from a game this year where you really felt confident going, wow, this feels like the Eagles Super Bowl team. This feels like a team that is checking all the boxes, is doing everything that they're supposed to. It just hasn't felt that way this year. And I'm really shocked that it just hasn't happened from this core, because I feel like they have punch in the mouth mentality, and they're letting them do it. And that's not what the Eagles team is about. So I'm really hoping that tonight spark plugs that, because if it doesn't tonight, I really don't know when it's going to the rest of this year.
Yeah, really felt that same way just in 2023, and now we're having the same feelings all over again. So will the Eagles answer that question if we can see a team with some fight? And are you going to be able to answer this question?
Ooh.
Matty B. I stumped Sam Hine last week.
Did you really? Oh my goodness.
I finally got it was like, I mean, it was a very difficult question. It was the only Bears Eagles at this certain college, and it was the only game ever played at that university in 1970.
Okay, I didn't watch.
I didn't give any sort of location. I didn't say anything.
Can I give a guess real quick, if you don't mind? Is it Northwestern?
It is Northwestern,
dude. Oh my god, that's crazy.
It is Northwestern.
The only reason I guess that is that's the only Chicago school with a big enough field, I would assume, out there.
Sam went with Notre Dame, so it was a good guess. Good guess.
I would have guessed either Northwestern or Chicago University football, because I know they had a.
Yeah, once I said Northwestern, Sam was like, "All right," but I was like, I didn't tell him who was the home team. I didn't tell him anything. But then at the end, I was like, "All right, it's not in Philadelphia." And then he kind of narrowed it down to Chicago. Anyway, our question this week, we got another tough one. The Eagles have never played the Chargers on Monday Night Football. In fact, the Eagles haven't played the Chargers in Los Angeles since the Super Bowl season back in 2017 in front of 26,000 people in a soccer stadium where the Garrett Blunt went crazy.
I remember
it was like 20,000 Eagles fans. It was crazy. But outside of their division opponents, which team have the Eagles played the most on Monday Night Football? So no NFC East teams. And then you got to figure out who is that team. We will come back to this question later in the show, so make sure you stick around for that. And the number one topic over the last couple of days is what we're going to talk about. We're talking about the bunny, the positivity, good vibes bunny in the locker room at the NovaCare complex. It was stressed very hard. The offensive line said they are not sad. They just wanted good vibes, and the good vibes are needed. This was right outside Saquon Barkley's locker. He wasn't very happy that it was right outside of his locker. Matt, do you care about the bunny?
Do I care? I'm going to have to. Oh, my God. Personally, I think this is the dumbest thing in the entire world. I think it's so stupid. This is the only way I will accept this stupid bunny. If they come out tonight and look their best all season, I will be like, all right, I'm going to buy a Easter bunny inflatable at Walmart and putting it out front. I personally don't love stupid gimmicks like this. I hated the flowers blooming things from Sirianni. I hate when teams do something like this to try and in my opinion, I fully think that this was the linemen being pissed off, and they're trying to divert the talking points of what's going on in the locker room. You know what I'm saying? I feel like this is oh, we have so many gaping holes. This is the shining pile of money next to the huge car crash that's going on. Come look at this money over here. Don't look at the awesome car crash that's going on happening over there. Just avoid everything that's happening. That. This is to me what this is. That was probably a bad analogy. But this is what this feels like to me. I hate everything about this. I think this is so stupid. The only way this is, like I said, the only way I will accept this stupid bunny is if they come out and this is a really a vibes thing. I just hate stupid gimmicky things, especially when it's a short season like the NFL. I shouldn't even say short season because they still play for 4 months. What
about the bamboo that the Phillies did?
That's what this is being compared to. And I think that's a little different because in my opinion with baseball, it being such a long season,
you gotta
you go through highs and lows with wins and losses. So if something you're riding something and if a bamboo plant is giving you a 10-game winning streak, so be it. It's what it is. But an NFL team like this, I don't know. I'm not a full lover of the bamboo stuff like the Phillies either. I think again, I really don't like gimmicks and stuff like that. Like, they're whatever to me. But when you have such big problems and you just bring in something like this, to me, it just feels like there's just so much more happening with this. So I don't love it. Again, if it works out, it works out. So be it. It's going to be the number one thing with this city. I will love it if it ends up working out and they win a damn Super Bowl because of a stupid bunny. So until we get to that point, I don't like it right now.
Well, let me tell you, I'm willing to do this. If the Eagles win tonight, I will go 50-50 with you here. $74.99 for this bunny.
On Amazon. $75? Oh, no shot. No shot. Nope.
It's an 8-foot tall.
I don't care.
I'm putting this outside your house.
No. No, thank you.
Putting this right outside.
I guarantee you, if you backtrack like the dates on this was not $75 last week. I guarantee you this is probably like 45 or 50, and this jumped like a quarter of the price just because of the Eagles. I guarantee it. Oh my God, this is so stupid.
Or you could buy here the Grinch, 6.5-foot Grinch, $110. I mean,
well, that's not very vibrant.
Outside the all the media's like all the media office. This is crazy.
I also think it's so stupid. It says Happy Easter on it. I think that's the dumbest part.
That's the best part. It says Happy Easter.
So stupid. Oh my God! You couldn't do like a Santa or something. That's what makes it even more dumb.
I think that's the best part that it says.
I hate gimmicks so much.
I don't care about the bunny. Unless they lose, then we're executing.
Yeah, then you'll care about it if we lose tonight. Oh man, I don't know. I really just don't know what this.
Anyway, maybe the Eagles need some vibes right now.
Yeah,
there's not much.
I get what it's trying to accomplish. I know they need vibes. I know they need to be positive more. I totally understand what it's doing. I just don't think it's going to matter. Like if they put, I really don't think it's going to. Like I think if they put up like a similar performance like tonight, as in like the Packers game where it's like little offense or whatever, we're just going to see here like, well, what's the point of this thing? If we're just doing the same thing, but here's a bunny, maybe it'll work better. I don't know. Maybe I'm being a Debbie Downer, but
maybe instead of the bunny, if they lose, they'll get like a pumpkin or something. And
maybe they'll try.
We're going to rotate through all the holidays. They'll put in a heart for Valentine's Day.
Maybe they will.
But the offense needs some sort of boost.
Yeah.
Because since the bye week, they have scored 10, 16, 21, and 15 points. And since week 5, they have surpassed 21 points only against the New York Giants. 2 weeks later, they fired their head coach, and 2 weeks later after that, they fired their defensive coordinator. So when the Eagles score more than 21 points against you, you're firing your entire coaching staff, basically, is what that means.
Pretty much.
And I feel like it's one thing if this offense was just like bad, but like they're not just bad, they're getting worse every single game. Like every week, it's something is getting worse. This offense ranks 28th in success rate, which is lower than the New Orleans Saints, who got a big win yesterday over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the New York Jets, who also won. So maybe this is the thing, like the bottom tier offenses. Wait, the Jets lost. Maybe it's like
lost. Yeah.
All right, never mind. Forget that. But maybe NFC teams that suck at offense are winning this week. Maybe that's the thing. This is the worst offensive success rate for the Eagles through week 13 in the last 20 years. That goes back to Andy Reid's first season. Jalen Hurts has been bad. He's getting worse every single week. He was 19 for 34, 230 yards, 2 touchdowns. He had a bad interception and a really bad fumble in the tush push, which the tush push is just dead now. Forget it. Eagles can't do it anymore. Jalen, every single week, I know you want to touch on this, but Jalen inaccurate and making bad decisions every single week. And it's not something we typically see from him, but like, I don't know what's going on. The Eagles offense, they went 78 minutes between touchdowns. That goes back from the first quarter in Sunday against Dallas to the third quarter against Chicago. They averaged the fewest points among teams with a winning record. They are 10 of their last 35 on third down. They're terrible. It's getting worse every single week, and somehow Kevin Patullo is still employed. I don't know what's going on.
So I want to touch on that last thing you said after I talk about the first thing I want to say. In my humble opinion, I think the plain and simple answer to this problem comes down to one person and one person only. And you said his name a lot in that whole spiel right there. and that's Jalen Hurts. In my opinion, I think this is the worst 4-game stretch Jalen Hurts has had in his entire career. Now, you're going to say, numbers-wise, it doesn't look that bad. And I will admit, numbers don't look that bad. It's 75 for 127. Completion percentage is just under 60%. 837 passing yards, which is about 210 a game. 4-to-1 touchdown interception ratio. 122 rushing yards, 30.5 a game. 3 rushing touchdowns. He's had some bad fumbles and only 1 interception, though. However, this is the worst 4-game stretch from him I've ever seen, just because of how poorly he has run this offense. Yes, he is putting up numbers, but and I didn't say putting up numbers. He isn't putting up the worst numbers, but he is just not consistently putting this offense together. It just looks out of touch. It just doesn't look good. And you know how I know it just doesn't look good? I don't know if you watch. I believe we wrote about it. About how, or posted something about how he talked about missing Goddard and missing Smith on Hard Knocks during the Bears game. That right there tells me that there's some I don't want to say discourse. Something is up with him. It does not look good with him, and I really think he is the forefront of what is going wrong right now. And that's nothing against the other players on the offense, because I don't even think the entire offense is playing well. I don't think anybody on this offense can confidently say that they're playing the best football they've played in their entire career. I don't think any of them can say they're having the best season. I know AJ has been playing well the last couple of weeks. I know Smitty has put up some good numbers. The offensive line, some of them have been playing good, some of them playing terrible. But in my opinion, I think everything starts with Jalen Hurts. And that's how it should be. He's the quarterback. That's how almost every team in the NFL is. It goes to the quarterback, and the quarterback is going to take the blame. But he has just struggled so much and so often over not only just these 4 weeks, the entire season overall, but these last 4 weeks have just been disappointing, in my opinion. The Detroit and the Green Bay game were just putrid offensive performances. I understand they were cold games and it was a prime time. You were doing whatever you can to win those games. I get it. The Dallas game, he looked lost after those first 3 drives where they scored. And it rolled into this next game. I know him and AJ were doing well, scoring touchdowns, but he was just missing balls and just missing balls way too far often. He was missing reads. He was just not taking sacks. He has not used his legs as much as I would hope he would this year. It's a really just weird time for him. And it's weird because he usually takes criticism well. He usually takes criticism and says, all right, bet, I'm going to show you what I can do, and go out. And again, he doesn't need to be putting up 350-yard games and 3 passing touchdowns and rushing for another. He doesn't need to be putting up a 40-point performance, but just consistency and not miss. And again, not everybody's never going to be perfect. He'll miss a read once in a while. I get it. He'll miss a throw in the dirt. He'll miss a guy, a receiver. I totally understand. But the way that he's doing it, and as often he's doing it in games, is very concerning. And it's just been a bad stretch. And I don't know if he just doesn't have it. I don't want to say he doesn't have it, because he's a Super Bowl winning quarterback, Super Bowl MVP winning quarterback. I know what greatness he can do, but it's just very disappointing right now to see from him.
It sure is. And I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to find this Hard Knocks video, so that's not it. All right.
It's all good.
It's weird because you watch that video and you see Jalen taking accountability. I don't know where this video is at. I know I have it, but it's he takes the accountability, he moves on from it, but still, throughout the game, I just found it, downloading it right now. But throughout that game, it's just he made the one nice throw to Dotson, and that was it.
Yeah.
Then using his legs as well. Does that go on Jalen? Does that go on the play calling? Because he hasn't been doing it, but it hasn't been really called, and that's one of his strong suits. It's just the whole dynamic of the offense is off. The running game still has nothing going for it. And on a day where it was crazy windy against Chicago, really hard day to throw the ball, the Eagles threw it 34 times.
Another real quick to tell you, Chicago had no linebackers in that game either.
Yeah, no linebackers.
Three of their 5 linebackers were hurt. They had nobody to stop Saquon, and they didn't do anything about it.
Barkley had 13 carries for 56 yards, and Tank Bigsby did not see the field. Here is the video from Hard Knocks. And did you watch?
I did, yes. It was very good.
Did you? Does that change your opinion on the Eagles at all, watching that?
Not really, no. It's about everything I thought I would expect from them.
All right, well, here is the clip from Hard Knocks.
Hurts. He's looking. He fires. And it is incomplete. He missed Devontae Smith, who was cutting in, and the ball went to his left.
There's a little signal before the ball is snapped. He's expecting a stop by Devontae Smith. Smitty is running a slant. If he hits Smitty on the slant, he's going to run all the way into the end zone.
What you was thinking?
I thought you, when I pointed like this, that's my fault. I thought you was going to settle down some more.
I took that what we talked about.
Fuck. It's a play I got to make. Y'all keep doing what y'all doing. Here we go. We'll finish the next one. That's a play I make.
The Eagles have got to pull themselves together and wake up for the second half.
I love the Merrill Reese at the end. The Eagles have to pull themselves up and get up for the second half. But I mean, this does show you some leadership from Jalen.
Yeah,
but which is, you know, what a lot of people feel like they need to see for some reason. But what I'm more focusing on is, like, that can't happen. Like, this miscommunication, they've been working together for so long. Like, that just can't happen like this. Like, I'm not a coach. I never really played like tackle football, and like, but I know like that just can't happen. Like, everyone knows that just can't happen. That situation, I know it does happen, but it is like, it's just weird that like it's happened multiple times, and Jalen just has been inaccurate.
Yeah. It's not even that it's happening. Like, it's one thing if like first quarter, you know, something like that happens and you're like, oh man, that's on him. But the fact that it continues to happen throughout a game is why you get pissed off and you get nervous for this team, because game after game and week after week, those problems don't feel like they're getting fixed. It feels like once a game we have a play like that where Jalen just absolutely misses his receivers, and you're thinking to yourself, they just did this last week. Like, this was a problem last week. Why wasn't this solved during the week? Why was this not solved 2 weeks ago? Like, that's what makes you upset. And I don't doubt Jalen's not a leader. Jalen's probably the most vocal leader in that locker room, 100%. He can lead a pack of horses to anything in the entire goddamn world. But it's tough. It's really tough to be a cohesive team year after year. It's a really tough thing. But I'm just hoping that it could just be better. And it's a lot to ask. I get it. I know it's tough. It's a long season. But you have chemistry with these guys, and you know what you have to do to be better, and it just isn't working right now. So I don't know. I just hope I can see better from them. I can see more consistency, and that's really what I'm hoping for.
How much do you put on Kevin Patullo?
So
at his house, was that you?
That was on. No, I will say this. That was the most
that was
terrible thing I've ever seen. The people that did that, I think that is, you have no self-worth. I think that's a terrible thing to do. I understand Eagles football is a big deal to a lot of people. I totally get it. And you want the best out of them. But to go to a man's house, invade his privacy, and throw eggs at his house with his family inside is absolutely horrendous. Who's to say that was all they could have done? They could have broken in and done some other crazy things if they were there. That's uncalled for, totally wrong. And I hope those people are arrested and prosecuted well, because that is uncalled for.
I just think like there's been a lot of discussions, like, as fans, where is the line crossed? And I feel like once you
that's
do
crossing the line.
That would absolutely crossing the line. And once it's like all of the banter should stay in the stadium.
Yep.
I feel like as soon as you bring something outside of the building is where that line has been crossed. And, like, you know, Philly sports fans get a lot of bad rap. Obviously, I mean, it goes back to when we threw snowballs at Santa. It's just always been a thing. But like, things like this is why, like, people wonder why Philly sports fans always get a bad rap, and it's because they do things like this. Yeah. And because it's Philadelphia, it just gets thrown onto national news, and it just becomes a big thing because it's Philadelphia. So if what people want to know why it's like this, is because there's a couple idiots like this that are throwing stuff out there. And then it was just a bad situation, but it was handled. And now we move on, and hopefully Patullo can go out there and call a good game today. But anyway, back to my question. What are you putting on Kevin Patullo?
So yeah, I 100% agree with what you're saying. On Patullo, I do think he deserves some of this blame. I'm not going to sit over here and say that this is fully, he's a darling and what he's doing is wrong. I do think that he is
very,
I don't think he is. I think his offense is a little, in my opinion, the two biggest problems with him. I think his offensive play calling is a little predictable, and I think his game time, halftime management, and halftime adjustments are just pitiful this year. I think those are the two things that the Eagles have. Why the Eagles have been so bad. I don't think they've been able to adjust at half. Well, one game this season overall. I think they're just keeping par with what they're doing and hoping they end up getting the win at the end of the game. With Patullo, again, I think this is on some of his players. I just think it's a thing that the player, it's not really his fault that the players aren't running right routes or they're not catching balls in some of these situations with like Smitty and Hurts and Hurts fumbling on a tush put. Like, what do you want him to do there? He's calling a tush put. That's what you're supposed to do in that situation. How can you blame him for Hurts fumbling or throwing a bad interception in double coverage? Or AJ not getting open on routes, or Dallas not getting open on routes, or offensive linemen missing blocks. Again, I'm not saying that it's perfect for him. It's not been. It has not been perfect play calling. It has been inconsistent. It has been way too predictable, and I think that's a fair criticism for him. And he's going to take it on the chin. I also think there's some blame for Nick Sirianni as well. This is Nick Sirianni's offense that he's calling, and I don't think people have talked about that enough. Honestly, I think that's a major thing, and it's not like he is this offensive guru who all of a sudden can, his style of play can win them a Super Bowl. It's a consistency thing. Nick Sirianni's offense has won Super Bowls, has been to 2 Super Bowls. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing, but at the same time, it also is a struggle thing when you're not comfortable and things aren't going your way. And the vibes are a big thing too. Vibes aren't working on the offensive side of the ball. So again, I have been a defender of Ken Patullo this whole year. When people were saying to fire him after week 4, I thought that was a little ridiculous. Do I think he is going to end up getting fired if the Eagles fail offensively and lose in the first round of the playoffs like they did in 2023? Absolutely. I think he's going to get fired. But you can't fully put this blame on him. I think it's a lot. Sorry, I just one more thing. I think it's a lot more on the offense. I think it's a lot more on the players. I think it is a group effort on why this isn't working.
You can't blame a coach when there's no execution out on the field. I mean, that's what it really comes down to. But you mentioned Sirianni, and there's this quote back from 2023 after Shane Steichen went to Indianapolis, and I noted this in my takeaways that I wrote the day after. This is what Sirianni said in 2023. No matter if Kevin Patullo is calling it, Shane Steichen's calling it, Brian Johnson's calling it, Jeff Stoutland's calling it, Jason Michael is calling it, Jonathan Gannon comes over and calls it, Howie Roseman calls it from up there, Jeffrey Lurie, Dom DeSandro, Julian Lurie. I'm very particular, and I know what I believe in the passing and the running game and offensive football. So, but Nick Sirianni is the one that's calling he's the one making the whole game plan, the whole overall game plan and what the Eagles are going to run. And the Eagles stick to that. Kevin Patullo is Nick Sirianni's best friend. Sirianni's the one that, hired him. And Sirianni gets a lot of credit for winning football and keeping the locker room under control. To my belief, this locker room hasn't been under control in the last couple of seasons. Last year, there was issues. This year, we know damn well that there have been a ton of issues. And, he's winning. He has the best winning percentage of any coach in the NFL right now. But when the wins aren't coming in, what really is he doing? What positivity is there for Sirianni? The 2 offensive coordinators he has hired have been bad. Brian Johnson, not good. Sirianni or Patullo has obviously not been what we were expecting. And you go back to, hey, he wins. He keeps locker room under control. It's not happening right now. So, what is there for Sirianni for me to defend him with? Nothing.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. And that report came out that he's been involved in the offensive game planning this week. Yeah, I don't know how true that is, but if that's what he's now doing a little bit more, maybe so. Like you mentioned in your thing, he is the CEO of the team, and that's what good coaches do. Good coaches can let their staff handle things, and obviously some are going to play call, and he'll be involved. He'll be involved in every single aspect of the team: offense, defense, special teams, making sure everything's right. So he will have his hand in the cookie jar of things. But I honestly don't think Nick Sirianni has got enough blame for this year as much as, like you were saying, as much as he should be. I know it's the easy thing to just go right to Kevin Patullo, but I honestly don't think that fully is his fault. Like in this thing, I know it is. I'm not going to say, like I said, I'm not going to say that he is not at fault. He is involved in this whole mess of an ordeal that we have with this offense. But he he needs to be accounted for a little bit more, Nick Sirianni.
That's for sure. All right, here's the report. Sirianni's been, quote, more involved in the offense preparation this week. This is from Tim McManus of ESPN. He's been around the Eagles forever. Quote, Sirianni has been vocal in offensive meetings and has been pressing material alongside offensive coordinator Kevin Patullo, sources said. According to one source, he has been addressing the group for longer than usual at the top of the meetings before ceding to Patullo, who continues to run them. Is this to me like last time Sirianni was more involved in the offense looked horrible in 2021. So for me, this like isn't a good thing.
It honestly might not be. Like I'm really hoping like it honestly might not be better. I think they're just trying some things now because I don't know if like bringing in another voice is really what they need with 5 weeks to go. I really thought that they were going to. Maybe I don't know about a Dable or like I don't even know who they could have brought in. Maybe just another voice I feel like could have helped them a little bit more. Just see some things differently and game plan a little bit differently and not like undermine them. But it's unfortunate that it's just not going well right now. And I don't know if this is going to fix the way that it's going to. I don't know if this is going to fix all their problems, but I really hope it changes some things because they need to try something new. And with 5 weeks ago, they do not have a lot of time to just be diddling around, just doing the same old act every single week. Things need to change.
Maybe they'll bring you in, man. What do you got?
No, I don't have enough. I wish I had enough like credibility to do that, but they need something. Something needs to be different.
According to a very close source of mine, the Eagles are hiring Matt Brown to be the hype up man in offensive.
I would do that. I would be hyped.
Let's go, boys!
Yeah, I can do that.
You guys are dead. Wake up! That's what I would.
Oh man.
Anyway. Sticking with Sirianni, he's going up against Jim Harbaugh for the first time in his career. This is going to be a really fun coaching matchup. These two currently own the highest career win percentages in the NFL with at least one full season. They both rank top 9 all time. Sirianni's 5th, 70%. Harbaugh is 9th at 68.3%. Both have titles in their last 2 seasons. Sirianni, of course, with the Eagles. Harbaugh with Michigan in 2003, Matt Brown's favorite college football team. And they are 2 of the only 11 active coaches who have reached a Super Bowl across 9 combined NFL seasons. Neither has ever had a losing season. Both made the playoffs in 8 of 9 seasons. And, both are seemingly going to keep that streak alive. So a good coaching matchup going on tonight in Inglewood.
No, 100%. These are 2 guys that know how to build football teams and build winning culture, in my opinion. Like Nick has obviously been helped a little bit with the core that he's been put together, but Jim, they both have been able to, find ways and rattle off wins and build winning programs. As much as I hate Jim Harbaugh for him being a Michigan head coach, I'm a Penn Stater for anybody that doesn't know. I hate Michigan so much, so much. I respect him. I respect that he's a great coach. I respect that he's a great game plan coach. I respect that he knows the game well. Him and John Harbaugh, I think they're pretty much the same caliber of coaches in the NFL. And Jim, he knew the situation when he was coming back to the NFL. This is a Chargers team that was looking for a vocal leader that could lead their star quarterback in Herbert, that could bring a winning culture to Chargers football that they really never have. And he has brought that over really well. He is taking a lot of, not even want to say trash, but like a lot of like down players and like a lot of like guys who he's getting the most out of them. I take a look at like the run game. He's getting guys like Kamani Vidal and Jarrett Patterson into their dominant run, not even dominant run, like a solid run game for the past couple of weeks without Hampton. He's still getting great production from guys like Lad McConkey, who was like a 4th rounder. Keenan Allen, who's coming back at like age like 33, 34. Another guy, their tight end, Oronde Gadsden's the second. Another 4th round guy that they're getting great production out of. Trey Harris, another late round draft pick. Like he is getting the most out of his players, like on the offensive side of the ball and defense too. And he is a really good team. This is a good Chargers team. They are a great group of guys. They're a great just team overall. They're kind of like in the same rut as the Eagles. They lose some questionable games this year, and you think that it should be better, but they just haven't been. But overall, I said in my article this week for the preview, this is a very desperate game for 2 teams. One of these teams is going to be very upset that they're going to lose another game, and you just hope that it's not the Eagles tonight.
Chargers not just getting the most out of the players, but also best uniforms in the NFL.
Yeah. What are they wearing tonight?
I think it's just the powder blue tops and the white pants.
They're so sick.
It doesn't matter. Like that powder blue and that yellow it's a good look. Anyway, all right, let's look at our inactives tonight. Eagles, Josh Uche, Sam Howell, Mac McWilliams, AJ Dillon, Lane Johnson, and Jalen Carter. And I look at those last two names, Carter and Johnson. I mean, those are the two best players on the team.
Yeah. You could argue they're the two most important to this team. And it's unfortunate they're losing both. That Ty Robinson is bumping up. Marcus Epps is back tonight too as well. He's getting
Marcus Epps. I forgot to mention that earlier, but he's getting first team snaps right now in warmups.
Yeah,
so that'll be interesting to see. I mean, it can't get worse than Sidney Brown.
Honestly, Sidney Brown has been tough dealing with them the last couple of weeks, and losing Andrew Bakuba has been a really big loss. So, and Reed Blankenship has also been another one that just hasn't been playing well in that secondary this year. So, it's going to be a struggle night. I really hope that they got, like I mentioned, they had some good playmakers, the Chargers. I even mentioned Quentin Johnson as well. That guy was written off like he was the deadest man of dead, and he's been turned around and been great. So Eagles have their handful in the passing game, especially if Herbert gets comfortable with that there, because it's not his right hand, it's his left hand that's hard, and it's his non-throwing hand. His throwing hand is still good, and if he could toss that ball, it's going to be a rough night for the Eagles secondary.
For the Chargers, cornerback Nico Reed, outside linebacker Kyle Kennard, offensive tackle Austin Suckler. I don't even know. That's a weird one. Wide receiver DeLavion Campbell, tight end Tyler Conklin, and wide receiver Keandre Lambert-Smith.
Or Penn State.
The inactives for the Los Angeles Chargers. So nothing really out of the ordinary there. All right. Our notable matchups. By the way, AJ Brown wearing white cleats today. He's not wearing his bright colored cleats. So whatever you want to make of that, you can. Maybe he's wearing maybe he's honoring the bunny.
Maybe he is. Maybe he loves it. Maybe it's his new best friend.
The bunny's bow tie kind of looks like AJ Brown's cleats over the last couple of weeks. Anyway, what are your notable matchups today? I'm looking at this Sirianni versus Harbaugh football line. That's going to be really fun to see. But,
I like that one. That's a really good one. I would say first one I'm going to go with is I have two guys versus Chargers interior, and I really don't know which one it's going to be, but it's just Byron Young and Ty Robinson. Whoever's going to get more snaps tonight. I'm really looking forward to see which one of those guys steps up. And it's not really a great matchup tonight against their inside offensive line. Jordan Davis as well. I really hope that he can dominate tonight. I think he's going to get the majority of double teams, but if he gets single blockers on him, he needs to take advantage. Former Eagle Mekhi Becton's on that line, Bradley Bozeman and Zion Johnson. Chargers have been one of the worst offensive lines in the entire league. That's really not that much better. I want that middle defensive tackle to take advantage tonight. Moro Jomo maybe switching in there a little bit. Maybe see some Brandon Graham there. Like I want to see people dominate in the middle tonight. I don't think that middle is good for the Chargers. I don't think the line is good. I'm really looking forward to seeing those guys match up tonight. And then the other one, I am really interested to see Saquon Barkley versus the Chargers rush attack. Chargers have allowed 14 rushing touchdowns this year. This is 24th in the NFL. They average just a lick under 107 rushing yards, which is 13th in the NFL. Not great, not terrible. But Saquon in SoFi Stadium. He does some magic in that stadium for some reason. He plays well, and he has been itching to break out one of these games. And this Chargers pass rush or rush attack is not that great. It's not good enough where you could just sit there and be like, Saquon Barkley has another 40-yard rushing game. He needs to break out. I truly think that this is a matchup that it puts them in favor. And if the Eagles offensive line just give enough, I truly think that it's going to be enough for Barkley tonight. And I think that he could take over as a star of tonight's game.
Well, we've been looking for that over the last couple of weeks. Also, we were talking about what the Chargers are wearing tonight. Here, they're wearing the all powder blue. So here we go.
That looks so sick.
There it is.
Yeah, they look sick.
Yeah, so still a good look. So that's what Justin Herbert's got on his hand. See that left hand? He's got the just kind of like a glove, like nothing really.
Yeah,
really crazy. So
I still can't believe he's playing tonight. I'm dead serious. I don't know how he's going to be able to play tonight, but they're going to find a way.
Well, maybe they know that the Eagles' front is weak and they're not going to be able to get any pressure. Anyway, let's look at our SeatGeek. Oh, by the way, we haven't talked about this at all. I mean, we need to talk about this before I forget. We got a Monsters Inc. broadcast tonight.
Oh, we do? Yeah, wow. I totally forgot about that.
Monsters Inc. So my question is, who is your favorite Monsters Inc. character?
Ooh, man. I will probably have to go with Roz.
That's the right answer.
Oh,
that's the funny. Right answer. It's
you didn't do your paperwork. She slams it in. It gets on his fingers. So funny. His time. Oh, that's good. That's some good stuff.
And so if the Eagles are down by a lot tonight, like if they're winning a Monsters No More broadcast, if they're down big, I'm turning on Monsters Inc.
I might have to as well. I don't know if it might actually maybe more, Matt. I don't know if I could.
It's just you got like Roz. Oh, the Eagles really continue to play like absolute crap because they didn't turn in their paperwork.
Oh my goodness!
I'm watching you, Patullo.
If they say that, they're definitely. I know they're gonna throw the shade at Patullo tonight. I truly think it's gonna happen. Oh God, this is gonna be bad.
All right. Anyway, we're gonna thank SeatGeek because they always got the paperwork filled out. They are the easiest, most efficient way to buy your tickets. Each seat is given a green, red, or yellow dot, which either says that ticket is a good, bad, or a fair deal. And the holidays are coming up. Christmas time is here, and the best way to give a gift is by getting a ticket to a concert, a show, a sport. It's all on SeatGeek. Use code, and hey, I'm going to give you a gift too. Save $20 off. Use code Philly Sports Report. Save $20 off your first SeatGeek purchase. Again, Philly Sports Report. Save $20 off your first SeatGeek purchase. Click on the link in the description or the bio to save. SeatGeek is sponsoring the show and the SeatGeek standout stars. Matty B, he mentioned Saquon Barkley as a potential star tonight. And I'm shouting out Mike Wazowski as my star of the night. I'm really running with this Monsters Inc. thing. What do you got? What are your SeatGeek standout stars?
So one of them I already mentioned in my notable matchups, but it's Saquon Barkley. I truly think that tonight is the night that he needs to be a star. He needs to put this team honestly on his back a little bit and get the good vibes going. And I think this team plays better when the run game is better. And I really think that Saquon needs to be better and need to be a star tonight. And that's what in tandem with the offensive line. The offensive line needs to be stars tonight too. They need to show that why three of them are some of the highest paid of their position: Landon Dickerson, Jordan Mailata, and Cam Jurgens. They need to show that they're great. Tyler Steen as well need to be playing better. That's from one of them. Other one, I had Jalen Phillips as my other one tonight. I think tonight is a night where Jalen Phillips really continues to show his presence on the game. The offensive tackles are not good for the Chargers. Trevor Penny, who they just traded for, is still like only in the second game, I'm pretty sure. Bobby Hart is the other starting offensive tackle. I have no idea who that is. I literally had to look him up before this. I've never heard of him in my life. It's a revolving door of offensive tackles for the Chargers. I'm pretty sure that's who's starting tonight. It is just, I understand injuries suck. Rashawn Slater and Joe Wall, there's nobody at fault for the Chargers tackles being bad. They did as best they could. They traded for Penny too because of the injuries, but Jalen Phillips need to take advantage of these guys. They need to be better. I'll even throw Jalen Hunt in there too. Those guys need to dominate the edge tonight. Whoever is on whatever tackle and get to Justin Herbert. You can't let him get comfortable. You can't let him sit back in that pocket and throw the ball all night. They need to get around these tackles, and they're not great. And these guys, our edge rushers are much levels better than the guys that the Chargers are throwing out there, and they need to show it tonight. So I have Jalen. I'm going to say Jalen Phillips, but I would even throw Jalen Hunt in there for standout stars.
I'm interested to see a little bit of Brandon Graham tonight because this is the field that he tore his triceps on.
Yes, it is.
So I've been, thinking about that. Wonder, it'll be kind of interesting to see him back out there. All right. Thank you to SeatGeek for sponsoring SeatGeek Standout Stars. Our our locks of the game. Eagles are still the favorite, even though they've lost 2 straight games. -1.5 tonight. Over under is 41.5. Matt's also got some locks. So what are we thinking, Matt?
I'm staying away from that line again until the Eagles can prove to me that they can win a game. I am not touching Eagles lines. I'm seriously not touching them. As for the over-under, I do think that these offenses will score enough points to get to that over 41.5. I think they get there. I'm also saying I'm riding the Saquon boat. I think Saquon scores a touchdown tonight. I think he might score 2 touchdowns tonight. That's how good a game I think he's going to have. I think I think his over-under for rushing receiving is 90.5. I think he's hitting that as well. I think he's going to be involved a lot in this offense tonight. I think AJ catches at least, I think his over-under is 5.5 receptions. I would like to see, I think he goes over that. Again, defensive night, I think Jalen Phillips has that sack tonight. I truly think we hear his name at least once, like we did in the Green Bay game. And I truly think he has a good night. So I would probably bet him to get a sack, but I think it's tonight's Saquon Barkley's night. I really think that he just gets involved in this offense overall. So I think he's definitely scored a touchdown, and I definitely think that his over 90.5 rushing receiving is locked tonight. So that's one of my 2 locks tonight.
All right, our trivia question reminds you of the Eagles have never played the Chargers on Monday Night Football outside of their NFC East divisional opponents, the Cowboys, the Washington Commanders, and the New York Giants. Which team have they played the most often in that time? Suck. I'm going to help you out.
No, I don't want any help, actually.
All right.
I want to get. So I'm going to go with an NFC team because I would be shocked if it's an AFC team. Like, you don't even play them that often, and how are you going to play them on Monday night that much? I'm going to go NFC. There's 2 names that I'm close with. I'm close with the Green Bay Packers, and I'm close with the Atlanta Falcons. Green Bay was a team this year that they played. I remember they played Atlanta last year. I remember another game with Atlanta they played more recently, back in they opened the season against them a while back. I'm gonna go with. I've been back and forth, but I'm gonna go with the Falcons. That's my pick. My final answer. I'm going with the Falcons. Oh my God, let's go!
How do you know this, dude?
Dude, that's crazy. I was so. You know what's the funny thing is? I've been on the Packers, so. For those of you who don't know, we have notes before this. So I know it beforehand, but I don't look anything up. I'm 100% honest with this. I truly just go off what I know. And I was on Packers all day, but for some reason I flipped to the Falcons right before we started. I don't know what it was. I just feel like I've known more recent games of the Falcons. Like the Green Bay one, I couldn't really remember. I couldn't remember the Green Bay Monday night game. I know Green Bay, they played a little bit on Sunday night before. I think a Thursday night game too, but I don't really remember another Monday night other than this week. But they were the 2 I was really up with. I was just thinking about good teams. Rams were another one I was thinking of, but I don't really remember a lot of Rams Monday night. I know Sunday night games, but Falcons. I know for a fact that I've known 3 Falcons Monday night games in my lifetime at least. I was hoping. I don't even know how many it was. How many was it? Do you know?
I don't have that. I couldn't find the number. I was trying to find.
I know 3 in my life, so I don't think it's much more than that. I would say.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. I was thinking when I first saw it, I was going to give you that the Cardinals are not the answer because they used to be in the NFC East.
I was thinking about the Cardinals too. Yeah, that was another team I thought of, but I don't remember the Cardinals being that great in my opinion. So,
well, I was just thinking because they were a former NFC team. Yeah. By the way, update on the Monsters Inc. game. Mike Wazowski is on the Eagles and James S. Sullivan is on the Chargers, by the way, for those of you. All right. Which makes sense. They were green and blue. Anyway, we are 11 minutes from kickoff here, and we still got a little bit more to go. Our Foco fit check. I don't think any of us are wearing anything very exciting tonight, but there is a lot of exciting stuff over at Foco. They are the best place to get merchandise for the holidays. So go over to Foco. They got the best gear for the best fans. Look them in the description to go to Foco. I'm just wearing my Eagles hoodie. I'm just
nice one.
Keeping it cool tonight.
It's just got a neon Eagles shirt. It's a Monday night kind of feel. It's not. We can't break out a jersey for tonight's game, especially after last week.
No, I mean I put this all on myself. I wore the same jersey back-to-back games. I wore my black Hurts, so I'm never wearing the jersey again. All right, give me some keys. We're 10 minutes away from kickoff. Matty B, give me some keys. How are the Eagles going to defeat the Los Angeles Chargers tonight?
So, one I've been talking about a lot. Justin Herbert, don't let him get good. Make him have a bad night. Get in his face. Make pressure good. Don't let him do what he's doing best. If they can't hand the ball off, if he's going to have trouble handing the ball off and getting under center. And I don't think he's going to be able to be under center at all tonight because of the hand. Don't let him do that. Yeah, it's going to be a one-handed night. Don't make it easy for him. Whatever he's uncomfortable with, force them to do it. If he's throwing the ball well, put more guys in coverage. If they can't run the ball, ease off a little bit. Do what makes them uncomfortable, and they will win this game. Other thing than that, make the tackles night a living hell. I mentioned it already. These guys are not good. There is levels to this. This is where the Eagles are with edge rushers. This is where you can't even see my hand anymore. That's how levels there are to this. That needs to be better. They need to make tackles night a living hell. It goes hand in hand with making Herbert's life a living hell. Like, they need to make these tackles want to quit football after tonight. They have the better edge rusher, the Eagles, and that's where the game, I think, is going to be won. They can do whatever they want, the Eagles offense. I think they'll eventually figure things out. I really hope tonight, but defense is where I think the Eagles win tonight's game. If they can prevent the Chargers from getting up and down the field with Herbert, that's where it's going to win.
All right, it's prediction time. Eagles, Chargers, 2 8-4 teams that need a win tonight on Monday Night Football. I don't know who's going to win. I genuinely don't really have a great answer for you. I don't feel good about the Eagles, and but this team is good with extra rest. I think they had a good week, and you know what? I'm feeding in to the bunny. Eagles 31, Chargers. Let's get weird. 25.
That is a weird score. I am also on the Eagles. I am going Eagles 30, Chargers 16.
Wow.
I don't see with this Chargers offense. I don't think they're going to be able to do enough to stay in this game. I truly think it's going to be a long night for Herbert. I think the Eagles finally get some offensive success. I think Saquon scores, I think maybe twice. And I honestly just think it's a field goal kind of night for the Chargers. And they got a good one in Cam Dicker, former Eagle as well. But it's just going to be a long night for Herbert. I just don't think it's going to feel similar to me, maybe not blowout sense, but similar to the Niners game when Brock Purdy got hurt. Like, I just don't think they're going to be able to move the ball enough. And I don't think they have enough great playmakers to be able to move the ball efficient enough. So 30-16, I have the Eagles winning tonight. Hopefully a better game for the Eagles for the remainder of the year.
Hopefully we're going to need it. Thank you to everyone for watching the Eagles pregame show brought to you by SeatGeek. Thank you to SeatGeek for sponsoring. Thank you to FOCO for the FOCO Fit Check as well. Check out PhillySportsBooks.com post-game and throughout the week. All of our Eagles coverage. Also, MLB winter meetings going on right now. We are keeping up constantly. So go check that out right now and make sure to follow on all social medias throughout the game. And we're always keeping those things updated. We'll see you next week against the Raiders. Go Birds!
Go Birds!